Alrighty, the YouTube downfall of Pick Me Pearl, JustPearlyThings. Let's see what this video is all about. Let's see what's going on here. I've heard of JustPearlyThings. She's kind of crazy, has a lot of dumbass takes, but let's just hear what this guy has to say and jump right into that. It's just
Feminists always want to mess up the natural order of the world.
Pearl Davis, better known as JustPearlyThings, has been in the spotlight a lot over the past year. She has grabbed the public's attention through her anti-feminist views and has often been referred to as the female Andrew Tate. These views made her very controversial to say the least, but it worked. She currently has almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube and is a well-known face. But recently, her views had a much more devastating consequence. Her friends have been leaving her employees have left, and her YouTube channel was demonetized. In the last 24 hours, I've gotten a YouTube strike and my IG taken down. Weird. I wonder what powers that be I pissed off this time.
Okay, I don't think I agree with that. No matter how unhinged and how dumbass your takes are and how backwards they are, it's like, shouldn't like you not be in a... Granted, you could say that this person kind of a piece of shit because of the quality of their takes, but unless they've done shit that's really bad, then it's like, I don't think that's fair. Andrew Tate getting deplatformed, demonetized, sure. He's a sex trafficker. He's a human trafficker. But there's so many people on YouTube that are just garbage, awful people, but because I guess that's not reflected in their content, they can still make money off of it. Like, that's not fair. It's weird backwards, I guess, priorities when it comes to the YouTube sphere, but whatever, let's keep going.
Time. So let's look at all the things that Pearl Davis has said online that has led to her ultimate ban.
I think that feminism overall was a bad thing.
I believe there's a natural order in the world. It goes God, men, women, children.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote.
It's like I'm thinking this is a free speech general conversation.
Opinion, the only way to do that is to get rid of birth control.
I, again, did not think through a lot of the repercussions of posting that.
Before we get into the details of what happened, let's look at Pearl Davis's background.
You want to get rid of birth control? I think a lot of stuff that people have with those issues is how people treat that stuff. It's like, dude, birth control is fucking awesome. No, rubber, that's great. It's way better. You try to get rid of that? Less kids? How's that bad? God damn it, people.
Background. Pearl comes from a wealthy and accomplished family in Chicago. Her parents are successful software engineers, and her mom is a former CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. So Pearl grew up in luxury, enjoying a lavish childhood. But let's fast forward to the year 2020. Pearl's content takes a turn. She began expressing controversial views, claiming that men built society alone, and arguing against the concept of gender equality. She believes that women shouldn't work and suggests that if women's jobs disappeared, society would be just fine. This shift is quite the departure from her earlier, more carefree content. And despite her claims, her own mother is a successful businesswoman, which contradicts the narrative that Pearl pushes. Ironically, she also criticizes women being in the workforce, but her mom has managed to build a successful organization and raise 10 children. One aspect of Pearl's persona is her stance on relationships.
Yeah, that's fucking ironic. Was the point of all that stuff, because I heard that this wasn't always the type of content she made, was the point of all that just to make money off of it? Is she legitimately trying to get a certain agenda out there, or is it just to like get an audience and make money off it? It's hard to know the intention there, because it's like, yeah, that is blatantly hypocritical. It's not just with her mom, but with herself too. She makes money, she runs her own business, does all that shit. It's the same thing. Huh, weird. A lot of weird shit's going on in life, man. I have no idea what the hell's going on. We're all just flailing around in this cosmic void of nothingness. Jesus Christ.
Relationships. Despite never being in a serious relationship herself, she's on a couples counselor, her dating experience is limited, and yet she feels comfortable offering relationship advice and critiques others' marriages. That takes a lot of confidence, right? And it's crazy to think how her online journey started unexpectedly after a failed attempt to play basketball in Europe. So with this, she became a full-time online influencer and gained attention from her breakup quiz series on TikTok.
Admit a secret. Cheated on the love of my life with my ex the first week of college.
Pearl uploads multiple times a day, sharing her opinions on various topics. Her content often includes bold statements about women and relationships. Women shocked men were right. Women realized they need men. She tapped into her niche by frequently using phrases like modern women in her title. Critics argue that she reinforces stereotypes without providing concrete evidence or examples to support her claims.
All right, why women shouldn't vote? Yes.
For example, she claimed in a video that women shouldn't be allowed to vote, but then she compared it to the duty of being drafted in wars, which was limited to men.
Men are fined $300,000 if they don't enroll in selective service, where women have no skin in the game.
There was no argument as to why women shouldn't vote, just a vague attempt at establishing a link between voting and fighting in the war. Moving on.
which isn't the reason why. Yeah, I've gone over this in my other videos because this topic has been brought up before and I addressed it. But it's like, with that, why not? Okay, so these people's rights are trampled, so therefore we should remove these people's rights. Why not just not trample these guys' rights? Why not just not force dudes to have to get drafted? Then you don't have to bring the other one down. That's like, ironically, the same thing that a lot of these, incredibly progressive people want to do, right? They propose that men are up here and that women are down here, and that in order to elevate women, you have to bring these guys down instead of... It's like, it's the same thing, dude. You're doing the same thing that the groups that you're targeting and saying are dumb are doing. It's all, oh God, the irony, man. It all just... But at the end of the day, I mean, the point is to get attention and money and to monetize that attention, right? So if that's the only thing that matters, then people are going to do whatever it takes. So in a sense, we're all culpable for this. We're all part of this system that reinforces itself and all this mindless nonsense. So, yeah.
Moving on, Pearl often discusses topics such as birth control and divorce, and she says that these things are contributors to societal issues.
Opinion, the only way to do that is to get rid of birth control. I don't think it'll ever go back unless that's gone.
That's an interesting point.
Because that's when you see everything switch. If you look at the divorce rate graph, like as soon as divorce spiked, at the same time, that was when more women were getting on birth control.
However, critics argue
you can't just point to an individual factor as to the outcome, as to the reason why this other thing is the way that it is. There's more layers to everything. Why do you dislike birth? Dude. In my experience, birth control is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Like, being able to fuck and then gunk and then not have to worry about the ramifications of that. Like, that's awesome. Why do you not like that? It's because of what you believe that it entails. I think the stuff that you believe that it entails is a result of other shit, of a bunch of other shit that all comes together. The thesis of all my videos, just don't be a piece of shit. That's usually what it boils down to, and the same shit applies to that. Just don't be a piece of garbage, and you can get the most out of these really cool things that technology has afforded us. All right.
Critics argue that her arguments are always built on assumptions and generalizations. She often talks about how divorce should ultimately be banned, and people that want to leave their spouses shouldn't be together in the first place. There's no logic to her statement, there's no basis for it, but she just likes to say things because it's controversial. Similarly, Pearl's opinions on LGBTQ+ issues have sparked quite the debate. She has questioned the need for pride parades and advocated for restricting certain rights, leading to a lot of criticism.
It is absolute bullshit that we have an entire month dedicated to gay people that make up a very small percentage of the population.
It's almost as if whenever there's a topic being talked about, Pearl likes to take the opposite stance just to stay in the spotlight. Her views aren't really the entire problem, it's her speculation.
But also, that seems to be very appealing to a very vocal group of people that support this person. What was the number that they showed on their YouTube channel? Nearly 2 million subscribers, nearly? Man. God, really playing to it, huh? Really playing to that demographic so you can get them clicks, get that money. My God. Hey, if it works, right? What does that say about the thing that they're doing? All this stuff that they can say the most nonsensical, mindless garbage. But if the point is to make money, then they did it right. They did the correct thing. If that is the goal, which it is the goal when it comes to humans, because we're just animals. Vain animals. Yeah, but yeah, that's fucking... Gay people shouldn't adopt. Divorce shouldn't be a thing. I'll take the opposite stance of that. How about marriage should be outlawed? How about everyone has to adopt? How about that? Yeah, fuck you. It's just J things. Just gay things.
Speculations too. She often speculates in celebrities' personal lives, linking relationships and divorces to financial aspects, and some people argue that she oversimplifies complex situations, providing a one-sided narrative. Now let's look at some specific decisions that Pearl has made that may have contributed to her ultimate ban. So this is Nick Fuentes, a self-described white nationalist that idolizes Adolf Hitler and wants to marry a 16-year-old one day. Pearl decided to host him in an interview, and it's...
What an intro. Oh, ooh. Wow. How does someone end up like that? How is the sequence of events lined up in a specific way that that's the outcome? That the Fuentes is the outcome? Oh man, fuck. I was like fully taken aback there. Whoa. Whoa.
And it sparked outrage. The podcast took an unexpected turn as Fuentes shared controversial views on race mixing and the Holocaust. The hatred towards him was directed at her by some people, and she gave him a platform without challenging his extreme perspectives.
You did an interview with this guy. Like, this is not a guy we would ever have on because he's a racist, Holocaust denying. But you had him on, and then you took that interview down and apologized.
Pearl faced a lot of backlash for this, and in the aftermath, she decided to remove the video. She issued an apology.
I did remove the interview. I, again, did not think through a lot of the repercussions of posting that, so I just removed it.
But like most people, she soon forgot about it and moved on. Some people didn't. A month later, the apology was retracted, and Pearl seemed to embrace her critics with defiance. It may have also led to some legal issues, which she hinted at in an interview.
I did not find Nick to be racist. My staff actually did not find him to be racist.
Wait, he was talking to an Italian girl next to you and saying that she shouldn't have a black boyfriend.
He doesn't believe in. See, I don't really want to go into like the race mixing stuff too much.
No, but you just said he wasn't being racist, and I watched him be racist on your show.
As this controversy continued to brew, she faced another opponent in the...
So is she sort of just like really going in just to get the attention and clicks? It's just weird. I'm trying to figure out what the
dog doing?
What the intention behind it all is. I can't really point at anything else. I mean, if like you didn't think about the ramifications of such, that people address it on a different interview where they bring up the stuff and you don't really want to get into it. It's almost like you want to just be able to put this stuff out there and not have any of it come back to you, and just to siphon the attention. Because if you don't necessarily agree with all that stuff and you don't necessarily challenge any of the stuff that they're saying, it's almost like you're intentionally trying to create a talking point. I don't know. Can we know just by us witnessing it? Yeah, that was going on, dude.
In the online podcasting ring, Ethan Klein of the H3 podcast.
Pearl Davis, JustPearlyThings as she's known on the internet, will be calling in today to have a civil and lovely discussion.
The interview began innocent enough, but as Ethan probed deeper into Pearl's opinions, calmness of the conversation shattered.
I think that feminism overall was a bad thing.
You don't fuck with women's suffrage?
No.
You don't think women should get the right to vote?
No, I don't. I think we should ban divorce too. Yeah, I think that should be banned. Yes.
Okay, well that's a little bit silly. You have to acknowledge that, right?
No.
The tension escalated when Ethan
A little bit silly.
challenged Pearl on it.
Just a tad, just a tiny bit silly. That's not utterly ridiculous. That's just a wee bit of a weirdness right there, Pearly. You're just Pearly Things. You're a little cute, little quirky little girl. Oh man. Granted, I don't have positive ideas towards any of the institutional stuff, like marriage and shit. I think it's all mindless nonsense. But like, to trap people in it, I also don't like that. Get out of here. Just garbage things. She's really hitting the certain points though. Almost like under the presumption that the people that are watching the show have context of the things that she's said before. But she's presenting all this up front right here and there, right here, as if like people are, like you're just trying to be controversial. You could just say that and then not immediately jump into an explanation as to why you believe that. I mean, granted, if that's what you believe, the explanation is gonna be garbage. But like, I think I'm right about what I'm saying about her intentions. It's just clicks, trying to get attention. This is the modern day. That has to be the reason here. Does she actually believe in this shit though? That's another thing. Maybe, I don't know. But which one's more of a pulling force in terms of incentives for her to platform herself and to say these things? Is it because she genuinely wants to get her agenda out there, or is it just because she genuinely wants to circulate attention in her direction? Both, maybe? I mean, granted, the outcome's the same, so I guess that the answer to that doesn't really matter. But I would like to know which one's more of a reason for this person. Especially if they didn't start off this way and they just jumped into it because they knew it would have a wide appeal, or a wide enough appeal to give themselves a influential enough degree of a platform. This guy said that this wasn't what they were doing at the beginning. They were doing other shit. And they tried other stuff in terms of their career. Huh.
Challenged Pearl on her statement about slavery. Pearl was clearly struggling to defend her position, resorting to vague statements.
So do you agree with that premise that slavery was embellished?
There are parts that are under embellished, and there are parts that are over embellished. I think it just depends what we're
That's
talking
so
about.
interesting. I've got to know what was over embellished about slavery.
The most unsettling moment was when Pearl suggested that some slaves had positive relationships with their owners, almost as if she's trying to justify slavery.
I used to read actual slave accounts, and I was surprised how many didn't say bad things about their owners after they were free. I can't say, hey, these slaves had a good relationship with their owners
Because
without
it's
getting
not
killed.
true. Because it's just not true.
This was met with a lot of skepticism by Ethan, obviously, but he tried to dig a little deeper, probably because he was enjoying making her speechless.
You know I can't have this conversation without them painting it a certain way.
Well, just
Painting it a certain dude. If you try to rationalize that viewpoint, a bunch of mindless, racist, hateful garbage is going to come out, and I think you know that. So what is preventing you? If you've gone to this point, why not just go all in, motherfucker? Interesting. Where's the cutoff for you when it comes to your controversy? If you're a controversial figure. Like, that's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, slavery, there's some over-embellished aspects of it to forceful indentured abusive servitude. I think you're overacting a little bit. Wow. All right.
well, just own it then.
The second clash that stood out was her interview with Piers Morgan on The Piers Morgan Show. Pearl found herself in the hot seat while she was faced with a storm of criticism at the time after posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews on YouTube.
Why can't we talk about them without getting kicked off of YouTube?
The lyrics were infused with anti-Semitic themes and casual Holocaust denialism, and it left many people questioning her motives. And just 24 hours after the song,
I don't know, man. Questioning her motives. Maybe her motives are obvious. Like, come on. Maybe she does. Maybe it's both. Not just the wanting to acquire attention and monetize it, but maybe she legitimately believes in this shit. Man. Fuck, dude. Where'd that come from? Especially given that there's a decent amount of people who believe in crazy shit like this. Enough to, like, give this person a pervasive enough platform to get them on the fucking Piers Morgan show. To get them all sorts of interviews and to have their name out there. Jesus Christ, man. Humans can really be conditioned to believe fucking anything, and this just so happens to be the result of the conditioning that have happened through history. You get crazy shit like this. Oh, man.
after the song was released, Pearl found herself on the Piers Morgan Show.
This week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it. Genuine question.
I mean, the point was more about cancel culture and people getting kicked off of social media if you finish the song.
After the interview, Pearl resorted to her social media, accusing Piers of censorship and claiming she was misled about the nature of the discussion. She criticized the show's tactics, reminding everyone of her commitment to free speech. Yet she simultaneously avoided accountability for her controversial statements.
Like, why are we in a society where we can say what speech is allowed and what speech isn't allowed? So the song is about cancel culture, and it's about being canceled by the left and the right. And so it was a bit misleading because they didn't even put the full song in there.
Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy.
It's like, I'm thinking this is a free speech general conversation. I could show you these emails with someone else on it. Then I get on and I'm like, oh no, this is an ambush. So now you're pro-censorship. I think we need to start calling this show Censored with Piers Morgan.
But it's not just interviews that put Pearl in these uncomfortable positions, because she has had a lot of clashes with her own employees.
Okay, I guess that brings up a conversation topic. Like, free speech, I believe it extends to the point of threats and intimidation, which you could interpret hate speech as intimidation, as a point to scare people into submission. That's kind of a murky area, right? Because under free speech, people can say the things they want to. I believe until, like, it's designed to threaten or scare people. But, like, hate speech is the murky area there, because it's like hate speech is kind of designed to scare people. And that can fall under intimidation, which is not good, and which kind of, like, that's too far. So that's an interesting thing, especially because, like, along with speech, just in general, you can really muddy the waters so that people aren't entirely sure of your intentions, which is dangerous, especially if it goes unchecked. So that's a very complex topic there, and it's really hard for you to not say that what she's saying is very hateful. It's like, it's the same types of things that you can see in all sorts of various groups that are designed to hate other various groups that they were conditioned to hate. But hey, I mean, if you go back to the point, right? The point is attention. The point is to monetize said attention. Then you did it. You did the thing. So what does that say about humans' prioritization of monetary acquisition, especially the ways in which we can acquire it, especially the ways in which we can acquire money? You could argue that that's kind of intrinsically hateful, given that people will do whatever it takes to be able to get it. Yet this technically falls under that, under fair use in that context. Oh, you're just trying to get your bag. Go get it. But at what cost? I guess to pull a point from that, it's like, don't just like respect people because of money. Money does not mean money should not be part of the equation when it comes to your judgment of anything. Money is just a game humans created to be exploited so that we can get the better of each other, so that we can control each other. Going back to slavery, why do you think slaves existed? So that people could make money at their expense, so that they could own these things that they could profit from. That's technically fair game if you look at if you prioritize or you quantify monetary acquisition and just get your bag. That's technically fair, yeah? If the point is to make money, do whatever the fuck you can to make money. Money is usually the root of evil. It sucks. Yet everyone just fucking jerks off to it. Because I guess like it makes things seem like everything is where they should be. This is a thing that we've designed that just works. Because you look at the result of it working for a few people, yet when you peel back the layers, it's just barbaric garbage nonsense. It's awful. So, yeah, it sucks. It really does.
Own employees. In March 2023, Saray Garvey, Pearl's ex-podcast co-host, made a serious allegation. He was an independent influencer in Pearl circles, and he accused her of underpaying the individuals signed to her network, including himself.
Grab a smoke, whatever it is that you do. We're going to be going into the copyright striking. We're also going to be going into some of the manosphere, and we're going to be going into Pearl as well.
Garvey claimed that Pearl's revenue sharing model wasn't fair, with the creators getting as little as 20% of their generated income.
What is my guaranteed fee then?
Dude, everything I'm saying, make money, oh my God. How do you think she benefits from underpaying her crew? More money for her? Fuck. Fucking humans, man. Fuck. God damn it. Oh man, it sucks. People suck so much. Holy shit. You can't accept that. If you have a conscience, you just can't accept how fucking awful humans are. She's incentivized to do that shit. Why not? Get your bag, right? Make your money? That shouldn't mean anything to people. That really shouldn't. That's disgusting, man. Honestly. People who give you all this stuff, who help you get all that stuff, you're undercutting them. Why would you not? If the point is to make money, right? Fuck, dude. Shit.
Fee at the end of the month. What is the salary? And she looks at me and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries. She said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no. 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey.
He also claimed that other creators faced even more unfavorable terms, with some allegedly receiving only 15% of their earnings. The controversy then escalated when Pearl decided to copyright strike and essentially claim legal action against Garvey.
JustPearlyThings is doing now. She's copyright striking my YouTube channel with all of the content that me and her made. Even though we haven't signed any contracts and we were on an agreement that is both of our podcast.
All right, garbage. Yeah. Fuck this. Fuck Pearl. Piece of shit. You have the gall, okay, not just from your hateful, shitty, backwards, disgusting values and things that you say on your platform to get attention, but it's like your actions as a person, really? You're complaining about getting demonetized on YouTube when you're trying to fuck over the people who actually helped you? Go fuck yourself. Mindless, disgusting, ugly wench. Gross, dude. That's the action stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, absolutely. At first, It's one thing to have all your shitty, disgusting, backwards views, which are hateful and are designed to scare and intimidate people, but like, now you're trying to affect other people's like ability to. Granted, this guy was there to help you, and he's in a sense part of your garbage by, you know, propping you up and giving you, assisting you in acquiring your platform. But you're also fucking those people over their means of making money. It's like that's disgusting. Fuck this person. Yeah. Fuck Pearl, not the guy that we're witnessing here.
I was working with her, and these pieces of content were absolutely fine on my channel while we were working together. It's not until we stopped working together and I'd done my video that she wanted to strike the video.
In response, Pearl took to a different platform to address the allegation. She defended her revenue sharing model, explaining and breaking down the high costs of running a company. So if you think about Pearl's journey, it's become evident that her rise to fame has been built off of the backs of controversy. But like all overnight celebrities, the fame she gathered seems shallow, centered around talking points rather than her own persona. She does have around 2 million subscribers, yet she struggles to create a community invested in her as an individual. Over time, you can see that she may have faced moments of realization, be it her friends distancing themselves from her, maybe the Ethan Klein interview holding her accountable, or when Piers Morgan humiliated her on the mainstream stage, or when YouTube decided to demonetize her entire channel, which happened only a couple of months ago.
Today, I am going to be talking about, I guess just like what's going to happen to the future of the network with the demonetization.
Basically forcing her to...
Look how nice that apartment is. As a result of her being Garbo, that's what she has. That's what she's afforded, so why not, right? Oh man, humans, dude. People are always looking at me. It's just like, oh, you're cynical. You're just sad. You're depressed. It's like, no, man. I'm honest. I'm real. I see. I can witness and observe the awful things, awful species that we are, the shitty things that we do to each other, and it brings great sadness. Yet, I'm surrounded by so much delusion. And granted, the people who are also saying those things, they're part of the species. It's just other people are more delusional and have less self-awareness than I do. So when I point out awful shit like this, which is totally real and exists, because it's an indifferent universe where anything goes and the worst shit tends to happen as a result of such, because you're benefited by being just garbage, they're just like, oh, you're cynical, you're just blah, blah. It's like, no, I have, like, I can observe things, and I can use that information in a way that actually, like, you know, inform myself with. This sucks, man. Fuck.
Forcing her to end her podcast. Team YouTube, I was just demonetized on YouTube with 0 strikes, 0 warnings, and 0 explanation. What is going on? Pearl Davis tweeted this back in November of last year. She doesn't know why she got demonetized, but I do. Pearl got a copyright takedown notice for multiple videos. She posted a video called "These Girls Were Too Clueless, Idiot Women," where she's doing street interviews and talking to people on the streets of London and asking them semi-sexual questions. The only problem is, these kids were 15. The TikToker/YouTuber PearlyThings stopped my 15-year-old sister and her school friends on the streets to ask them invasive questions about sex on her YouTube channel. She made several cut downs of the video and has subjected them to abuse from the #RedPill community.
All right. Yeah. It isn't just because you're hateful, hate speech. It's because you've also done something that's borderline illegal. Wow. Is that just a result of you not having any self-awareness and not even doing your due diligence to avoid stuff like that? Wow. All right. So I guess that on the other side of that reflects how YouTube has its own priorities. That's the thing they cared about, which is a fair thing to care about, and that's understandable. But it's like, it's not because of the hate speech crap. It's not because of all that other stuff. Huh. I'd have to look more into what motivates YouTube's demonetization as such. It seems to me that they only just stick to their guidelines and their rules, and that's the only thing they use to determine stuff, which I guess it makes sense why so many other things go under the radar versus other things that get taken down. Which in itself is a form of evil. If you build these rules and you only stick to the rules, you're gonna miss the mark in many instances. Granted, those rules serve a purpose and they're valuable, but it's like, just because you've defined these rules doesn't mean you're gonna get the right thing at the end of the day. Those rules are just your attempt to do such. And you have to understand that that's what comes along with rules. It's not just, you're not gonna always get it right. In this case of YouTube, they got it right with this thing. But say if she never made that video, would she still have the platform she has? Maybe. That's the thing that YouTube cares about, which is a valid thing to care about. But it's clearly not the hate speech or the other stuff. All right. Yeah, very small bit left.
The parents of the girls reached out to JustPearlyThings to ask her to stop using the videos of their children, and she ignored them repeatedly and is refusing to take down the videos that have racked up millions of views. Would really appreciate it if someone at YouTube can help take these down. So these are the reasons why her channel has been demonetized and she's been banned on Instagram. Seems like she may not be able to withstand the consequences of her own choices. She does have the habit of saying a lot of controversial things, and it seems like it finally caught up with her. But thank you everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and I'll be back very soon with something brand new.
Yes, video shall be in the description, but I don't know. There are ways to avoid your comeuppance for the things that you do. There is no karmic justice. There's no actual justice life. What justice is are the things that people apply to each other. There has to be a force that's in a position to be able to make the right moves, to be able to affect the outcome of someone's, in their case, monetary acquisition, that makes the right moves based on the right criteria and actually does it in a way that is actually able to, you know, bring them down. I am confident that someone like JustPearlyThings would be able to find a way to bypass these things if she can take her platform, or at least try to find another, how do you say, I don't know, manifest, is that the right word? Manifest the platform in a separate way. Be able to just bring the attention to a different thing, some other place, and just find ways to make money off of attention, because she already has the attention. She already has people that are willing to listen to her. She just has to find a way to coordinate that in a fashion that would allow her to continue doing her thing that she does, right? Just look at Kick. And not to say that like you need an already established platform to be able to do these things. Like the internet is just an open ocean where anything goes. You can find a way. Anyone can find a way. You just have to find that way. Whether or not you do or don't do the right thing, it just really doesn't matter. You just have to find a way to just curate people's attention and then monetize that, which there are many, many ways to do that. So yeah, I don't believe people in these types of positions really receive their comeuppance. For the overwhelming most part, that's not how it works, unfortunately, because life is indifferent and the right thing usually doesn't play out. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, from this video, JustPearlyThings is kind of a piece of crap. So don't watch them, but watch their videos through me though.